people have reported strange phenomena, ranging from lights in the sky to inexplainable footsteps on the ground. I'm Eric Sean, and today we'll take a deep and revealing look into the story of two roommates who get a frightening and all too familiar visit from someone on the other side. The story begins here, in a quiet, suburban Florida town. Here, roommates Billy and Ace have resided for over 2 years. Prior to the encounter with the entity, I was able to go down to the gym, get my swell on, and come back to find the house exactly the way I left it, even down to small details, like the way I stacked my Playboys. I was able to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, fix myself a sub, completely new. It's pretty much a dream life.
Prior to the encounter Ace and I had with the entity, life was normal, you know? Used to sleep well in the afternoon, party hard at night. Life was good.
As Billy and Ace both suggest, their lives were virtually perfect. They were in complete control, until things took a turn for the worst. The first strange thing that happened to me, involving the entity, happened on August 13, 2007. I was just getting back from the gym. As I walked into the house, every electronic device was on, and loud polka music was playing. At first, I found this to be rather strange, but after some thought, I came to the conclusion that nothing is too strange when you live with someone like Billy. So I made my way to the kitchen to grab an after-workout snack. It seemed that Billy had raped the fridge of all the good snacks. So I headed over to the next best place. As I was opening the cupboard, there was this red, blood-like substance seeping from it. I must admit, initially, I was frightened to death.
Billy, you're such a slob.
We were all out of shortbread cookies, so I left the kitchen and made my way to the bathroom to clean and pamper myself. Once in the bathroom, I just couldn't jump into the shower without first admiring my manly physique, so I flexed in the mirror for a little bit. I looked away from the mirror for a split second, and when I looked back up, there it was, a dark figure in the mirror.
Dude, a fucking ghost.
I knew what I saw, but my high intellect wouldn't let me accept the fact that it was a ghost, so eventually I forced myself into the shower. After I was all clean and dressed, I went to go ask Billy what all the electronics and polka music were about. Billy, what the hell are all the electronics and polka music about?
Dude, you're drunk.
I'm as sober as can be, and I demand that you explain yourself for the polka music.
Dude, I just got back from work.
And then it hit me.
Could it possibly be Sacz?
The thought of it alone terrified me.
What?
Nothing.
No, if you don't mind. I'm trying to read here.
Who is this mysterious Sacz? And why does his presence burden Ace's mind? Let's take a closer look at this matter.
So originally it wasn't only Ace and I who lived together. We had a Polish roommate named Sacz. He loved sausage, polka music, and beer. It's actually kind of funny looking back on how Ace and I used to rip on him and his love for sausage, which by the way is due in part to his Polish heritage. We used to love partying up and whatnot, but Ace and I made the decision not to bring him into conversation after his death.
Sacz was a funny guy. We had our share of good times, but our friendship began to go sour over monetary issues. We began to argue on a regular basis, and eventually it got to the point where he became a nuisance to Billy and myself. He refused to pay his share of the rent, and he expected sympathy for the fact that he was too lazy to keep a job for longer than 2 weeks. Billy and I were fed up with paying the rent by ourselves. It seemed to us that Sacz was far more interested in buying tickets to polka concerts, beer, and useless trinkets than paying his share of the rent. Man, look at these bills.
Yeah, this is my problem. Are you gonna pay for this?
Oh man, stop.
Naturally, Sacz wasn't too happy with the decision that Billy and I had made to kick him out, and that's an understatement. Billy, go get the door.
I don't want to open it.
Billy, you're gonna do as I say. Go. And there he was, our landlord Yosef, and boy did he look pissed. He came by to tell us that we had 1 week to come up with 2 months' rent, or we'd be on the streets. Actually, he was very descriptive about it.
You'll be on the streets with the rats. You know, really large kind, with the big ass teeth that will nibble off your gnats.
Sacz was in no mood to hear about being kicked out, so we proceeded to assault Yosef. Things just seemed to be getting worse and worse for the young roommates. And just when things seemed to have hit an all-time low, tragedy struck.
The night of the incident with Yosef is one I'll never forget, for 2 reasons. One, there was this amazing TV special on chimps. Oh, and Sacz left the house all day and broke in at night. Sacz was pretty out of it at the time. It was about 2 in the morning. He had 1 too many adult beverages. So he made his way to the bathroom, and that's when it happened.
By the time Sacz had reached the bathroom, he was in a completely different world. Unfortunately, on his way out, he managed to slip on Billy's half-empty bottle of hair gel. Yup, that's the way old Sacz went out. I still remember what the doctor told me. He said that it wasn't the impact to the head nor the loss of blood that caused Sacz to die, but in fact, it was the fumes from his own feces that caused him to suffocate and his body to shut down.
Everything was spooky and stuff after Sacz's untimely departure. Sacz, you see, was a douche. When he was alive, he would always mess with me and my stuff. He would always come home with hookers and screw them on my bed, which, by the way, gave me crabs. So it was nothing new for Sacz to mess around at home. The only difference was, this time, he was dead.
The atmosphere at home didn't seem quite right after Sacz's death. It just felt tense. Kind of like when you rip ass in public, you know? What happened the following day sent fear resonating through their household.